Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey and this is Igniting Insight. I wanted to make hopefully a quick video to share with you a channeled message I just received and a reading I did in response to the message. Spirit really asked me to share this with you. I do think it is a message that a lot of us need to hear at this time, and I hope it finds you with an open heart and an open mind. So I specifically asked Spirit for a message to help the twins, meaning twin flames, and all of us on the path to ascension. So most likely if you're watching this video, this is going to apply to you. And this is the message. Be careful who you connect with. Compassion comes in many forms. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself and someone else is to keep your distance and allow them the space to create healing for themselves. Often, our desire to connect comes from a place of fear and lack. We feel vulnerable when we begin to see ourselves more clearly, and sometimes we seek out others in a similar place who will serve to reinstate the mask that had started slipping away. We are not meant to wear masks. Until we get to know ourselves fully and deeply, we should not seek validation from others, because this will only serve to validate the ego and create separation within our souls. The twins are here to find union, and this can only come from within. We must be willing to look honestly at all the ways we have been untrue to ourselves if we are to change these patterns. It has been written since time immemorial, I hope I'm saying that word right, that the way to our heart's desire is truth, and truth alone will set us free. Everything else is an illusion. The illusion is separation itself. This is an illusion, they repeated. Once you understand this, you no longer seek connections to fulfill a need or a lack. You find connections that come as naturally as the tides change, and which serve yours and the others' greatest ascension. This is the way connections were meant to be. The ego has made you forget, but now it is time to remember. Forget your fear, that is an illusion. Only truth is light, the light you were made to carry, and the light must descend upon the earth. Now is the time. The angels and guides are calling to you. Will you listen? Will you answer the call? So that was the message I received. Again, I was asked to share it with you all, and I also did a reading to go along with this message using the Mystical Shaman Oracle, and I used a spread from the book, and I want to just go ahead and read directly from the book what the card placements mean, because I think it's really important to understand what it is we're looking at with this reading specifically. So this is the 4-card reading, The Hidden Treasures in the Medicine Wheel. It's a north, south, east, west reading, and each placement corresponds to different things we're either needing to let go of or needing to go towards. So the first card is in the south position, which represents that which you need to let go of, what needs to be shed. It's an old wound that you no longer need to define yourself by. And what we got for that position was the Sorcerer. And this card, immediately, what I wrote for it is control. And then when I read the book, what the book had to say about this card, I actually started tearing up, because it's such a... it speaks to the message, the channeled message, so clearly, and I just wanted to read exactly what it says in here because I think it's so powerful. So the essence of the Sorcerer. This is the source of dark power. The sorcerer represents the destructive aspect of the human psyche and the self-centered behavior that harms others. It symbolizes the unconscious beliefs and ideas that foster separation, conflict, and scarcity. So this is, again, the aspect of ourselves that we're being asked to let go of. And when I wrote control, I think it speaks to our desire to control our lives and our desire to use others as a means of control, as a means of controlling our emotional state, as a means of controlling our thoughts. And that's, I think, what this channeled message speaks to, is it's calling us to step away from this pattern of trying to connect with others when we feel a sense of lack, because that is coming from an ego-based place, and it's coming from a place where we are trying to use the other person to gain a sense of security, to gain a sense of power, a sense of validation that is not validating our true self, but validating the ego, which is what we're here to transcend. So I hope that makes sense. And then the second position is the West, which is the part that and it represents a part of you that needs to die. It's an old story that needs to be let go of, so you may find a new meaningful story in your life. And we got the giveaway, which on its own can be a very positive card, but what I got for this is giving away your power and attempting to give to others from an empty cup. And actually, I posted on my Instagram yesterday, I believe, when I had just released all my weekly readings for this week for all signs. It was my birthday yesterday, so my solar return, and I was writing about the importance of filling up our proverbial cup before we try to serve others. And this card speaks to two things, I think, really. Giving away your power, so feeling powerless. When we feel like we don't have power or sovereignty over our lives, again, we can seek out others to try to validate our either our smallness or our ego's bigotry, whichever way it falls for you. And also, I think a lot of us light workers, healers, those of us meant to actually help others, we try to do this prematurely. We feel a sense or a call to that we're supposed to be here to help, that we're supposed to be here to serve. And just to give a little story from my own life, when I graduated high school and was, basically being told that you have to kind of figure out what you're going to do with your life, I had taken a psychology course in high school, and I fell in love with psychology, and I ended up studying psychology in college and got my degree in psychology. And the whole time my intention was to be a counselor, but I was not in a place at that time where I could have effectively helped others, and I knew that at some level. It wasn't until I got my own counseling and went through my own really deep healing process that I now feel like I am in a place where I can help others, and that's only because I went into my own wounds, to my own shadows, to my own darkness, my own, past, my childhood trauma, and all of that, and worked through my own healing in order to be able to help others find healing for themselves. So when we feel like we want to do something that's helping others, but we have yet to heal ourselves, it's really coming from a place of ego. It's coming from a place of, well, if I go do this thing that's supposed to help others, then I might feel better about myself because I'll feel like I'm worth something because I'm you know, supposedly helping others, but the truth is you're not helping anyone if you're coming from that place. And it's actually a really big problem in the greater mental health counseling communities, where a lot of people go into this field for exactly that reason, and they're not necessarily in a place where they should be trying to help others. So that's just a side note from my own life, but I hope that that example helps illustrate my point here. And then the third card in this reading is the card in the north, which represents the wisdom that you need to acquire. You have learned the lessons from the south and west cards. What wisdom is ready to mature within you? What is your great medicine that you are ready to embrace? What are the deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? And what we got is the medicine wheel, which encompasses all 4 directions within this card. So I think it's a symbol of wholeness. And what I wrote for this before looking at the meaning in the book was healing, soul growth, and giving. So this is giving from a place of being fulfilled within ourselves, giving from a place of wholeness. I also wrote, it's the 4 elements, alchemy, and it represents nature and the natural order. So I also wanted to read part of this message. And the way this book is laid out is there's 3 sections for each card, and they speak to a different aspect of the card. So for this, I wanted to read the medicine section, and it says, you must not postpone your healing journey any longer. It can be difficult to start, but you must find the inner strength to step into the medicine wheel, or you may lose your opportunity. There are many ways and many paths. Choose the one you resonate most with. Once you have found it, the only mistake you can make is not to follow it. Go boldly. I think that this message is so important. Really, this is something I talk about a lot in my work. The hardest part of any journey is the first step. Once you make that first step, you've begun, you've started the journey, you've started the path to healing. And the fact that this card is in the position of what we're meant to be going towards suggests that it's time for us all to step into our healing journey. Anybody that's still in a state of resistance, anybody that's still trying to find validation outside of themselves, they're in a place of darkness, and they're meant to come into the light. Again, the time is now for healing. It's so needed now for yourself, and it's needed for the collective. You must heal yourself before you can be of service to the collective, before you can help others. Okay, and then the final card is East, which is representing your possible destiny, the way you will share your treasures and gifts with others. And we got Taming the Wind, which I wrote is about embracing change. I saw this as embracing the inevitability of change in our lives, embracing our need to shift and change in order to heal, embracing the need to let go of the past in order to find healing. And then when I looked at the book definition, I wrote down a quote, which is, so on the card there's the feather. The feather is a symbolic reminder of deliberately entering into a partnership with the Great Spirit to co-create for the highest good of all. This card also emphasizes the importance of listening and communication. So again, speaking to the message about connecting with others, we cannot truly connect with others in a healthy way until we are able to listen. And when we're coming from that place of neediness and lack, we aren't going to be in a space where we're ready to listen. When we're coming from a place where our emotional cup is full, you know, we feel whole within ourselves, then we are able to listen to the other. And again, this speaks of entering into a partnership with Great Spirit to co-create for the highest good of all. This is the goal. This is why we are on this ascension journey. This is why we're being called to heal ourselves, because Spirit, Source, God, the universe, whatever you call, the higher power needs us. Mother Earth needs us now to embrace our healing and bring light to the world. We all know, hopefully, you know, what's going on a greater scale and how dire the situation has really become. Which is why I keep getting the message, the time is now, the time is now. They really want you to know that the time is now. And the medicine wheel card that we got, you know, for the North position again, it's about taking that first step. It's about beginning that journey. So if you haven't already begun, begin. That's what this is telling you. And then after I did this reading, I got the idea and a further kind of a channeling, specifically about journaling. I think journaling is, if you're not already journaling, I highly recommend that you start. I came up with / was given an exercise to give to you about how you can use journaling to work through some of these darker emotions, this negativity, whatever's coming up for you. I'm just going to read what I wrote because it just kind of came out, and then obviously I started filming this video. So I'm just going to go ahead and read my recommendations for journaling. So journaling allows you to have a conversation with yourself, which you can also reflect on at any point in the future. It helps you practice self-sufficiency and emotional mastery, and is a healthy outlet when you desire to express any sort of negative emotions which need to be purged. Here is a journaling practice that can help you gain focus and clarity when you're facing a block or a problem. First, write out all your feelings without judgment and without restraint. Allow yourself to air any frustrations, anger, resentment, confusion, sorrow, pain, etc. that you may have or be feeling in the moment. Do this with understanding that everything you write may not be your truth, but this exercise will help you to find your truth. And then after you do this part of the journaling, you may be ready to immediately start the second part, or you may want to take some time and gain some distance from the original. This is something you'll need to gauge yourself based on how you feel. If expressing all of your emotions and all of your, all of those pent-up thoughts and feelings in the moment helped you feel a sense of release, then you might be ready to move into the second part right away. If you're still feeling some of that bubbling emotion, then it's best to take some time. You can come back to it later in the day. You can come back to it the next day. You're going to have some sovereignty in yourself to sense when is the best time for you to come back. But do come back and do the second part, because this is really important. So after the original journaling, look back over your writing with the intention of parsing out the deeper meaning behind your feelings and thoughts. You can ask Spirit, Source, God, or your higher self, whatever you believe in, to help you with this process. You can even call on the angels to help you with this process. Try asking, how is this serving me? Or who would I be without this thought or feeling as you're reading through your journaling? Often you'll find that a lot of fear was in your negativity, and seeing it objectively with some distance between you and the original journaling can help you release it. Go ahead and start journaling again, but this time focus on what you know to be true for you. Do this knowing your perception of truth will change over time. This exercise is about taking a step closer to authenticity. Note any changes you perceive in your physical body, your emotions, or your thoughts. Do you feel lighter or heavier, clearer or more foggy? All answers are valid. Know you are giving yourself yet more insights and ideas to reflect on in the future. Find the joy in chronicling your process of growth. So basically, if it didn't make sense the way I had written it out, you want to read through your first journaling with the intention of gaining insight into your deeper truth. Read it knowing that a lot of your feelings and emotions come from past programming, blocks that you have within yourself. And when you can read and realize what was behind that first layer of what you were journaling about, it can help you understand some of your core wounds a little bit better, some of your truest needs better, and you can gain insight into how you can take care of yourself better. I think this is probably going to be something I talk about more because I feel like I want to make sure this is really clear. So I hope that it made sense. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you and try to clarify things for you. And let me know if you try this and if it's helpful. Even if you don't try this exercise, I would highly recommend that you start journaling just your thoughts once a week, a couple times a week, every day, whatever feels right to you. I've honestly been journaling since I was probably like 12 years old, and it's kind of amazing to look back at, you know, those really young days. It's kind of crazy, but even like a few years ago, to look back and see how much I've changed and how much I've grown and how much I'm able to, now I'm able to see into those deeper layers a lot more quickly and readily because I've had so much practice reflecting like that. So journaling is just a method of reflecting, self-reflection, and it's one of the, I think, one of the most helpful things we can do on our own for our healing journey. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope it helps some of you out there. You can subscribe to my channel if this message resonates. I am an intuitive tarot card reader and an astrologer. I'm here to basically help you get in touch with your intuition and gain insight into your own internal process. I post weekly tarot/oracle readings for every zodiac sign, which I just started. I post twin flame readings. Usually, well, I want it to be about once a week, so hopefully that will be true. And I'm going to be starting also, I guess, doing more of these channeled messages if this comes through. And also I want to start doing what I'm going to be calling spiritual story time, which is just going to be more of my own personal story and what I've learned on my journey in an effort to kind of help you and hopefully help you feel like you're not alone if you're going through some of the darker times, because I know I've been through, I feel like I've been through the ringer several times as far as experiences and events and mental state, emotional state, all things like that. So I want to kind of be here to tell you that you're not alone and to kind of share what has helped me so that hopefully it can help you. So again, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you all the best. Namaste.